I know for a lot of people, the holidays can be one of the most stressful times of year. And yet, amidst rushing around to buy gifts, dealing with family drama, trying to wrap up the year at work, and even get ahead on next year, somehow we're supposed to be at peace. But what does that even mean? I've been a stress and well-being coach for nearly a decade now, and I can tell you every year at this time, everyone has some drama come up. So today, I want to share 3 principles that I try to remind myself of to stay sane and centered as things get crazy over the holidays, especially when dealing with family. Because I think, as we all know, spending time with family can be both a blessing and a curse. So first I'll share these 3 ideas, and then I'll walk you through a simple exercise I use to try to embody the spirit of the season, and literally to become peace. By the way, I'm Kyle Greenfield with The Joy Within, where we teach a mindful path to overcome stress and negative thinking so you can come back into alignment with our whole selves. If you like this video, you can find a ton of other trainings, exercises, and meditations by signing up for our free membership at thejoywithin.org. The first idea that I try to remind myself of this time of year is simply to notice the expectations that I am creating, both for myself and for others. A lot of this stress that we experience around the holidays comes from trying to force everything to turn out in one specific way, to turn out the way that we believe that it should. Whether that's trying to cook the perfect Christmas dinner, whatever that means, or hoping for a specific reaction when someone opens a gift that you give them. And the challenge here is, firstly, we stress ourselves out worrying about it. And secondly, if things don't go according to plan, if they don't turn out exactly as we imagined they would, and let's face it, when do they ever? Then that expectation sets us up for disappointment. We create a gap between our expectation of what should happen and the reality of what actually does. And one of the simplest things that we can do is just to pay attention to how much of our stress, how much of our dis-ease stems from those expectations. When we start to realize that, you know what, it's my expectation that the tree looks perfect, or it's my expectation that the kids behave a certain way that's actually stopping me from enjoying the day. If we can see that, it becomes easier to let those expectations go and just enjoy where we are in whatever form that might take. And that leads into the second principle that I use, which is no matter what happens, I try very hard to remind myself to stay present. I know this is tough, especially when there's a big group of people and the day feels a little chaotic. But the only thing that you can do is to notice yourself drifting when you start to think, I can't believe they just said that. Or, no, not this again. Just notice that and do your best to come back to center. Maybe you just take one conscious breath. That's it. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just do your best to catch that negative thought and do whatever it takes to reset. Maybe you step out of the room for a second, and that's okay. This is so important because as we stay present, we not only enjoy ourselves more, but we become the rock, the light, the joy that we share with others as well. One of the challenges here, especially with family, is that we have a tendency to revert back to old memories, whether good or bad. We try to relive that one perfect year, or we can't help but remember that year that Uncle Tom drank all the amaretto and passed out snoring on the floor. Whatever it is, as we dredge those memories up, they keep us from being present right now. So we have to do whatever we can to counter that. And I think that just setting the intention, just trying to remind ourselves gently to come back to center whenever we can, whenever we remember to do it, goes a long way to helping us with that. And lastly, the final principle I use is to try to remind myself that we all want the same thing at heart. We all want to spend time with the people that we love, and we want everyone to enjoy the holidays as well. We just have a different way of expressing that. So when Aunt Sally is stressing over the setting of the dining room table, or Uncle Kevin goes overboard again, riling all the kids up, we just have to remember that that's their way of expressing love. We have to try to see the love that is behind their actions, even if it isn't something we would do in the same way. Everyone is doing their best in their own way. And I know for me, trying to remember that helps to diffuse a lot of those little stressors, the little annoyances that inevitably crop up. It helps me to step back and simply to be. So those are the 3 principles I use. I try to notice my expectations, I try to stay present, and I try to remember that everyone just wants to be with the people that they love. We're all in this together. And by the way, no one is perfect. So it's okay if you get pulled off center. It's okay if you get stressed out or annoyed a little bit. Just do your best to notice that and come back. And so the last thing I want to share today is an exercise that I use to help do that. I think of this as becoming peace. And I mean that quite literally, not just trying to feel at peace, but actually embodying that state, being myself, the peace that I want to express. So to begin this exercise, just start by slowing down your breath in whatever way feels right for you. I really like to use Ujjayi breath here, which, if you know it, is a slight constriction in your throat that's just a slightly audible oceanic sound. But if you're not familiar with that, just breathe in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Lengthen the inhalation, lengthen the exhalation, and keep that up for a few rounds of breath. Then, as you exhale, start to think the word peace silently to yourself. So you take a nice, long, slow inhalation, and as you exhale, you just think, peace. And you repeat that a few times. Then, as you start to feel yourself relax, I want you to deepen your connection with that sense of peace. And I find that the best way to do this is simply to think, I am peace. And with every exhalation, you just imagine that peace spreading out into the world around you. It exudes from you. I am peace. And maybe you change the emphasis of it. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Play with that idea. See how, by repeating that phrase, it places you into a really deep state of ease, relaxation, and well-being. And just use your imagination to keep deepening that state. After all, that is the message of the season, isn't it? I am peace. I am love. I am light. So thank you so much for your time here today. If you found this helpful, please leave a comment to let me know. And also share it with someone that you love. I believe that as we become peace, as we embody that state one by one, it begins to ripple out. And it creates a positive impact in the world in ways both seen and unseen. So thank you again for your time, and I hope you enjoy your holiday.